John, thanks for spending a few moments with us today.
Yes.
You've been in this business since medieval times.
Yes, I have, as a matter of fact. And like they say, it's not the years, it's the miles, Larry.
Well, using your breadth of experience,
yes.
and since we're well into 2015, what trends do you see in engineering and manufacturing?
What I see happening in 2015 is that more and more companies are going to have difficulty in finding talent in the engineering and manufacturing areas. And as industry ramps up, as companies start to see people retire, all these baby boomers, it's going to be tougher and tougher for them to find talent in those areas. And what you're going to see are engineers and manufacturing people in short supply and high demand.
Why is that?
Well, it's because, like I said, first of all, people are going to be retiring. Number two, you have fewer and fewer people getting into it. Most of these kids nowadays that graduate from school want to get into design engineering jobs. They don't want jobs particularly in the manufacturing area. And companies want that technical talent because things have gotten so technically advanced in manufacturing with PLCs and all kinds of control systems that you need certain skill sets. So it's a simple case of short supply, high demand. People leaving and not a lot of people getting into it. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where we come into play with employers, because what we can do as headhunters is we can identify that talent that employers can't find going to the job boards or to other sources out there.
As far as the talent pool in the technical areas, what hot areas do you see, what hot jobs in manufacturing?
Well, I can only speak for our firm here. But where we see the greatest need right now are in the areas of mechanical engineering. Particularly, like I said, not in design necessarily, but in the manufacturing area, doing things like process improvements, plant engineering. That's one area. Secondly, another hot area is production management, because even those areas have got extremely technical, Larry, where companies want to see people that have a certain technical type of expertise. Another area that we've seen get really hot is things like maintenance and even quality control. So put it this way, Larry, if it's in a manufacturing plant particularly, most of these areas, companies really need talent. That's what I see. And then also, again, there's still that need for good design engineers, guys that can sit down and put drawings together.
As far as any advice you would give employers, given the challenges they're up against,
sure.
What advice would you give them?
Well, what I would tell an employer is when you look at candidates, have an open mind. Don't merely look at their skill sets, but also look at the person. And the other thing that you have to do too is look deep into a candidate's resume. A lot of times employers look merely at what their current job is, and they don't look at jobs prior to this. So what they should do basically is look at these resumes with a much more of an open mind and try to identify people that will fit into their culture. Because a lot of these skill sets, if you bring some basic things to the table, you can learn them.
Taking the other side of things, what advice would you give candidates?
Well, what I would tell candidates is that if you have a technical degree and you really want to get into design engineering, fine, great. But keep an open mind. Look at manufacturing as an option where you can still grow, have a lot of opportunities, and advance. Don't just say no because I want to sit and design all day long. I mean, that's great, wonderful, but there are some good opportunities out there in the area of manufacturing. So the advice I would give a candidate, much like an employer, is keep an open mind. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay.
Thank you for your time today.
Well, that's the advice I would give you, any recruiter, any applicant, or any candidate. And for more information, visit us at gloversearch.com.